Welcome to the generational gap, where we take a topic and we discuss it between people of various generations. And today we're going to be talking about when violence and or fighting is necessary, if it actually is necessary. Because growing up, we are always taught that violence is never the answer.
What?
So we're going so we're going to discuss, you know, in what extreme cases are they is it necessary. But first, let's introduce our panel for today. As our boomer, we have my dad Clem.
Hey, everybody.
Um, we also have the Flash. He's a millennial.
What's going on?
We got Kaze as another millennial. And our Gen Zer for today, we got Toxic Broski.
What's popping?
Okay. So, like I said, growing up, they do teach us that violence is never an answer, right? But um everybody's been watching the news. So there are times where violence is accepted on one side and is shunned on the other side. So let's discuss, when do you guys think violence is necessary? We'll start with the Flash.
Well, violence itself is just all a matter of perspective as far as when it's necessary and when it's not. Um, People look at fighting as being violent, but depending on the situation it's used on, determine whether it's necessary or not. Like you look at sports and say people don't watch it because it's too violent, it's too bloody, it's too gruesome. But at the same time, when it comes to actual survival scenario in real life, people doing those same things, then it becomes necessary. So, I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. To me, violence is necessary in most real life situations that I would say that you can't escape from. I'm not going to say walking down the street and somebody come up to you or try to test your gangster, then you just want to be violent and fight any and everybody. But because you always want to try to get out of any situation that you can, from my experience anyway. But if you ever get to those points where you just can't get out, or you're in a life or death situation, then and when you have absolutely no choice, then that's when it's necessary, if you ask me.
All right. All right, Dad, you're ex-military. So when do you feel violence is necessary?
Well, I think it's more generational, and that's because when you're younger, you're more prone to violence than you are when you're older. Because once you get older, you start thinking of more mortality, more responsibilities, and everything else. When you're younger, it's easy to just be a hothead. I'm a living example that any reason or any dispute or somebody stepped on my shoes or whatever, that was a reason to go. And it really didn't make sense, but I think it's generational. The older you get, the more out of that violent stage you get out of. That's why there's so many deaths between the ages of 19 and 25, because you still have, as being young, you still got that rage. You still think you invincible until, as an older you get, you find your mortality somewhere along the line. So I think it's generational, and you should only use violence, and I'm saying this now, to defend yourself.
Okay.
But yeah, that's where I think it should be now. But that's my opinion.
All right. Toxic Broski.
Honestly, I think you should use violence anytime anyone tries to get disrespectful with you, and they're not going to try you if they respect you. You know what I'm saying? So if someone gets disrespectful, put them in a place real quick, demand your respect, keep it moving. That's all.
All right, Master
Uh,
Beyonce.
yeah, for me, I think it's necessary. Uh, like Dad said, is just to when you need to defend yourself. Uh, I mean, you don't need violence for every situation. But if they're attacking you, then you definitely need to be able to make sure they stop. So yeah, I think defending yourself is the most necessary uh option here. Uh, other than that, I mean, it's not really a cause for a lot of things. People don't know how to use their words.
Okay. Um. Okay. So a lot of you said self defense. Well, actually, you all kind of said self defense in a little bit. Um. Do you mean physical self defense, or are there a certain? Is there a certain amount of verbal abuse that would need violence to defend yourself? Do y'all think?
Hmm.
Well, I only say physical self defense. Physical
Physical
self
self defense.
defense is the reason why you would want to react, only because verbally, just like they taught us when we was younger, there's all the sticks and stones, crap. You can be verbally assaulted by somebody, but that's just something that you can walk away from. It's not going to hurt you unless you let it. Somebody can call you names, say whatever they want about you or your family, whatever. And using from my own personal experience, I work in a prison, so I get trash talked all the time by inmates nonstop. It is what it is, but that's just something I can walk away from. That don't mean I gotta get violent or be physical with any of them just because of what they say. It's a time and a place. Same thing on the streets. Somebody could walk up to you, talk about your shoes, what your clothes you're wearing, call you ugly, say they gone, knock you out, do whatever to you, your friends, family, whoever you're around. But 9 times out of 10, it's just talk. And if, why would I want to risk um, any self-injury or any danger to me or anybody else around me if I can prevent it? Just walk away. And if they're not being physically aggressive, stepping up to me or acting on those verbal words or outcome or whatever, then there's no need to engage. Why? Because you never know what a person can do. First of all of us having a background in martial arts, we all know the fact that you don't know who knows what, right? So the person that could be talking, you don't know what he knows. You don't know if that person has a weapon. You don't know if he's serious or he just run his mouth, have a bad day. You don't know. So why risk it? You know?
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add to that?
Well, normally an altercation starts just by verbal alone. That escalates into an altercation. So that's normally how things get started. Somebody can't take the verbal abuse and it turns physical.
Yeah.
Right. And I agree, but like I was saying, it just depends on how you take. Like if you let it get to you, then yeah, that then it becomes a problem. But if you can just one person can blow it off and just like yeah, okay. But you're right, it does start verbally. But if one
Mm-hmm.
person is only arguing and with themselves, or they're not getting a reaction out of whoever they're attacking, then what? After that, it's not usually gonna go.
All I say is put people in their place because as soon as someone gets verbally disrespectful, it's gonna go more and more and more. And as soon as they're just gonna outright be disrespectful, they're gonna start with like little playful hitting. The next thing you know, they're gonna start hitting, and then it's gonna get more and more violent.
Mm. Well, now see,
It's like
you
it's
just
a
took
personal
it to
experience.
the physical aspect. See, the verbal is just one thing, but then the physical part, and that takes it to the next level.
I just don't let no one disrespect me, and then You stay even, you stay good.
Okay, so let's talk about threats since he's talking about disrespect. Where do you draw the line on threats? Like, because if you have a family, like if somebody threatens your family, is do you resort to violence then, or do you try to handle it peacefully
I deal with that right then and there.
right then and there?
Yeah, with violence and all. I don't take threats lightly. There's no threat that you can do that will make me be like, "Hey, man, come no." Threaten me, friends or family. That's why I'm known for being a violent person. But that's also because I don't take threats lightly, not at all.
So, do you do anything to check and see if it's a credible threat, or you just take all threats equally?
No, I can usually hear it in their voice. You can actually tell when it's going to be when they're when like if they're serious or not. But even if they're not serious, you still need to handle it basically the same to let them know that's not how we play around. Not the
Okay.
exact same, basically the same.
Gator don't take no back talk.
No back talk. Let me ask you that. So, wh- how do you handle threats then? Because threats aren't necessarily physical. Like when do you take a threat, and how do you handle threats if we're only talking about physical?
Well, personally, I look at everybody as a threat, and to I vet on myself. Everybody's a threat to me, and to I vet on myself because you don't know what they're capable of from the beginning. So you have to make your assessment and figure out whether that situation is better. I mean, it's good for you or not. So everybody's a threat. Um, Verbally, that escalates into the physical normally, but it's hard to take a lot of verbal abuse without the physical. Because personally, I'm not talking to you. We just gonna get it. That is, I'm not gonna waste my time discussing you trying to whip my ass. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna go get it. I'm not gonna talk about it. We just gonna go get it. So that's when I was younger though. Now I have to put a pause in and try to assess the situation and figure out a way to get out of that without violence. Because now I'm gonna look. Well, no, I can't say that either. I'm lying again. Um, all right, go to somebody else. I pass.
Do you have anything to add, D?
Man. See, with me, it's I have a issue with like especially in my line of work, I have an issue with people making threats. I know they're not going to do anything, but I can kind of egg them on until they swing first, so I have a reason to beat their ass. Uh, you know, uh, it's a it's a
Yeah,
it's
always put
a
yourself in the right spot.
it's a self it's a I don't know how to put it. I wouldn't say it's a self defense mechanism. It's more like
Antagonizing.
It's keeping yourself out the trouble.
well, I mean, they usually start it right, so they talking a lot of stuff, and then I talk stuff back to them to see if they actually gonna do it. It's me like testing it. I'm testing their gangster because they talk the gangster, and then you like, well, you ain't gonna do it, and then they don't do it. So, you know, stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't really. I already know that they're not gonna do it. Well, at least that's how I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's just the mentality, and or some of these people don't want to go to that next level because if they do, not only do they have to fight, then they have to worry about cops at that time too. So I mean, well, that's just in my line of work. I'm not talking about on the street, but the street can be different.
Okay. I have a question for you, Kari. You were saying that it's just when people test you, right? Like, so how do you vet? Like, give me some examples of how you vet people testing you, right? And it's credible because, like, we're of course you wouldn't attack somebody on a non credible threat, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So how do you
Still getting their
like
face. So,
talk us through a scenario where you vetted somebody as a credible threat?
so like an actual like they're actually threatening.
Yeah, like one that you might have to respond to.
Or do you want a story time, or y'all want me to just come up with a scenario?
Well, I mean, you don't have to give us the entire story,
We're
or
going.
you don't have to use any names or anything, but like just give me a general idea of how you deal with vetting a threat.
So we're just gonna say a boy. We're just gonna give him the name of Tom.
Okay.
Uh, who didn't like me or my family at all. Um, and we ended up walking past each other, but we are like not even walking past. It was more we were all in the same park or whatever. And I was showing my group, he was showing his group, but I don't know how, but someone in mine and them started talking and arguing. Then he started talking, and then he was like, "Bro, I will literally kill you and your family." I'm like, "What?" Because I know he's not known for killing people. He's known for throwing rocks through people's windows and stuff like that and breaking stuff. That ain't about to happen in my house. So you gotta be like, "You what?" Then you walk up to him, smack him in his mouth for it. And I promise you, usually after you do that, they'll look at you like you're crazy or like you're the demon or the devil, and they'll stop talking. But if they're real about it, they're gonna try to throw hands back. All you gotta do is beat them up and stay up at night because they probably gonna try to do it anyway.
Okay, so do you ever put that risk of payback? Do you ever consider that? Like the retaliation risk? Do you think about that when
See,
you make those kind of decisions?
there is such thing as that. But think about it like the lion in the jungle. Like that'd be the biggest, baddest person there. They ain't gonna try you. You gotta assert your dominance when you first get there, and they won't try you because they know it's gonna lead back to them. They know you're gonna figure it out. I promise
Okay.
you, whatever someone do to me, I'm gonna do 10 times worse. You break a window in my house, I'm gonna set your house on fire. Like we just, I would do it 10 times worse.
10 times?
Ten
That's
times worse.
huge.
It is huge, but I promise you, if you actually do that to someone, not actually set their house on fire, but I'm saying like, if you honestly do that, if someone do something to you, but you do it 10 times worse, they're gonna think like, yo, let me stop. Because then they gonna go, oh, well, I'm gonna do it 10 times worse. Then you gotta do it 10 times more worse. Like, come on now. Just don't. You gotta assert your dominance when you're first there. Don't let people play around, disrespect you. Don't let nothing like that happen. And you won't even be tried. No one will try you.
Okay, I guess I'll ask that same question to everybody else. Like how do you guys vet credible threats, right? So from going from like a person's just talking to, oh, they might do something, let's get ready.
Don't say call the cops.
Don't say call the cops. Well, we're talking about handling it personally. So let's start with Flash then. How do you vet credible threats?
Well, to me, it's all about reading, body language, attitude, and it's something I've gotten used to doing. Like saying my line of work, determining whether something is valid or not. You have to be able to depict the tone that the person is speaking, their attitude, when they're talking, if they're walking towards you, if they're getting physically aggressive, or are they, talking from a distance or walking back away from you. You know how they used to do it, and act all cowardly. It's a whole bunch of things that you got to read. But at a line, I would say, when it comes to not threatening me, but family or friends or anybody else, then I would probably put a little bit more emphasis on responding to that. You know, if a person's just threatening me physically or whatever, then I don't take too much light in that because, you know, I know what I'm capable of. I don't know what they're capable of, but I know what I'm capable of. So I'm not worried about whether they approach me because I know how to handle and react to that. But with anybody else in my family, then, you know, that's what I don't play games with. You know, then I'll respond, of course. But like I said, it's always about reading them, um, being able to see like the person just maybe they had a bad day and they just pissed at everything in the world, or you know, and you come across them just out of coincidence, you bump into them, step on their shoes, whatever the case is, and they start going off on you, you know, making all these threats, and it's really not a viable thing for me to just take it seriously if I don't know the situation, you know. I could react to it, you know, put the other guy in the hospital or something, and it would all have been unnecessary, or I would have been at fault because you know he was just having a bad day, and it was just a bad time we crossed, or whatever the case is.
Okay. Kaze, you work in um security as well. How do you go about responding to what you think a credible threat is?
Uh, I don't know. I think I well usually when I respond, we're technically we're not supposed to match their emotions, but like I do. So like they go to a certain point and I meet them there to to see if they serious. But I mean it all depends. Some of them might be serious, but they like like in the thing in the back of their head like they don't want to stick around because they know the consequences of sticking around. Because not only is it a theft at that point, it becomes a robbery. So then it's the next step up from there. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I use that to my advantage in most cases in my line of work. So, uh, I mean, whether it's credible or not, I kind of treat it all the same.
Okay. Um. All right. So we talked about threats a little bit. Okay. So in situations where you do have to be violent, even if it's just for self defense, what is your goal in that situation? Right? Like, is it just to get away, or is it time to go the extra mile? Are you proving a point? Like, what are some of you guys' goal once it gets physical?
I go on this one. My
Okay.
goal is to make sure they done. Like they ain't doing nothing else for the rest of the night. Is my goal. Uh, I mean, especially if they attack me. Like if I'm just defending myself, yeah, like no, we you ain't getting back up after this. Somebody gonna have to drag you to the car or something like that, or wherever it is.
Okay. So, basically incapacitating them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Dad, what is your goal once it gets physical?
Body bag.
Body bag all the way. Could you
Huh?
explain why a little
Killing
bit?
people.
Because if you attack me, look at me now, man. I'm almost 60 years old. You attacking me, that leaves only one choice. I don't have no other choice but to lay you down, man. I ain't got no other choice. What other choice I got now? You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So now, got to put them down.
Okay. Flash, what about you? Like once it gets physical, what is your goal in the encounter?
I mean, I agree with Kaze, and you know, it's situational, but once it gets physical, it's all about, to me, all about making sure you're not functioning at that point, or at least to a point where I can get away or escape, but you know, make sure you ain't coming after me in any point of that anytime soon.
All right. Toxic broski.
You gotta at least break something.
Your goal is to break something.
Something. Don't kill like your dad. Oh God, no. Do not kill them, but break.
Break something. So what do you usually go for breaking?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's hard to break something, but
No, not really.
an arm seems pretty easy to break. Bend it the opposite direction.
So like just to break like an arm,
Just break
dislocate a shoulder, something. You're
Yeah.
just your goal is just to injure.
Injure him. Or I'm not gonna. I would say you could cause something internal, but just injure him really bad. Like if you're about to fight, punch him in the throat one time. I promise you, he gonna stop. You can't
And
punch
punch
somebody
him
in
in
the
the
throat.
throat.
You're not gonna
That's not
punch
the
him
easiest target to punch.
Sure
in
not.
the head. But let's just say you guys get to the ground, and except for you, and you have that clear shot on his face. Except for going for his face, just go right here. Hit him right here in the throat. I promise you. You don't even gotta break nothing. He'll stop. He'll stop. I promise you.
That's if you're self-disciplined. A lot of
Oh,
a
that's
lot
you
of
got to stop too, because that will kill someone. That could possibly kill someone. Just a quick little chop in the throat, little whatever that.
that's if you're thinking about it in the middle of a tussle. Because if you're tussling, and you're not self-disciplined, that might be farthest thing from your mind at the moment.
Think about it for me. Like, I mean, obviously I know like a tiny bit of martial arts from David, but I don't really think about my like for me to win a fight. I think about how to win the fight. I don't think about what's gonna make me look good in camera. I'm thinking about how I'm going to win the fight. So I'm going for your soft spots. Why would I attack your head when I know your body is the part that I need to be attacking? Because I promise you, I can hit you so many times in the body to a point where you can't even walk. Obviously, you got that chance when you hit someone in the head, but it's a lot harder. You go for the soft spot. I say kick them in the bars because right. But if you gotta win, you gotta win. Listen, I would never say I will kick someone in the balls. But if I'm at the point where I'm getting jumped and I got a bunch of people on me, hey, I'm at the cheap shot everybody. Because your goal is a fight. No one said fights have to be fair. A fight is to be the one on top, to be dominant. There is no fair dominant fight. No, it's whoever's willing to do the work to be on top. So I mean, to win a fight, yeah, kick him in the balls. But that's also known as a girl move. So do something else. Don't only use that if you have nothing else left to do. If he's on top of you and just going off on you, that's when you kick him. But anytime else, hit him in the throat, hit him in the rib, do something that's gonna make him grab to that side that you hit him at, and just walk away in slow mo.
All right, well, let's delve into this topic a little better. So let's talk about self defense for a second, because he's saying, just hitting people in the throat, like, and that's a lot easier said than done, especially since everybody kind of tucks their chin in a
don't care.
fight, right? Because most people do, they tuck their chin.
Punch him in
Right?
the side of the neck.
You hit them where in the neck? No.
Hit the side of the neck. You can tuck your head. Listen.
With the half cock Judy.
So like the judo, what they could the judo chop, right? You break them down like in the TV shows.
Exactly. Hit them somewhere in the neck, and I promise you, they gonna.
That's not realistic though, right?
You're assuming a lot that you think that could happen or go down when it comes to QC scenarios.
All right, so let's say a fight happens. 90% of fights go down to the ground, right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, but well, it ends up in a tussle, not necessarily on the ground, but I know what you mean.
Okay.
Like the actual boxing and kickboxing part usually doesn't last long. Then it becomes wrestling after that.
Okay, so first of all, anybody who do wrestling, like I do, you automatically gonna win because you used to this. The ground is your domain. That's where you work at. So I'm just saying, if you do, another what's that? BJJ. You do that, you already gonna win. You already knew what I'm talking about. You get him in that position. If he over here fighting you, you gotta slow down, think, and get him in that position where his neck is exposed, or because he's busy in his face.
Hold on. BJJ is dangerous to do on the streets because concrete in your knees don't work together well at all.
We're not spinning people and smashing you both on the ground.
No, I'm
But I'm
just talking about doing like normal fireman's carries, like dropping to your knee on the street could shatter your knee.
I'm not saying drop to your knee. I'm saying listen. I'm saying let's say you both go down to the ground, right?
Where
And
you
you're a
don't.
professional BJJ or BJJ is that the word? I don't know what is that word.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
No, I'm saying you're a professional
Grappler is the term.
grab. Okay, thank you, because I don't want to say BJJ that sounds weird.
You
But
Gracie him.
you're
Grace you.
you're a professional grappler. So y'all both on the ground. You already know how to, what leg, where you should put your leg at to flip him in this direction. Like you already know what to do. I'm saying get him exposed and chop him in the throat. See? Listen, I promise you, all fights will end. If you got like a lot of people are focused on like if you just hit someone in their throat, I promise you the fight gonna end right then and there. It's not gonna go no more.
Can I just say something about this? You know, it don't work that way, unfortunately. You know, first of all, I'm sure everybody's heard the term, you know, that black belt don't mean nothing once you get punched in the face. So I don't care how much ground game you know or do. And this is coming from me who's trained in, you know, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of jiu-jitsu and all that stuff, coming from MMA background. You try to go to the ground, no matter how much you know, you still getting punched in the face or, you know, elbowed in the face. That whole locks, chokes, and all that stuff goes out the window. You know,
You gotta protect
you can't
yourself.
rely on that mentality unless you've been in that situation before or have had those types of scenarios where you're used to that. You know, just because you know something, it ain't gonna help you on the streets.
So
It's like B said earlier, you know, being on the ground, and especially in a real situation, that's the last place you want to be in a real fight. You never want to be on the ground. You want to try to avoid as much as you can. If you do, you don't want to stay there because you don't know what the other person knows. You don't know if they have a weapon. You know, you scraping yourself up on concrete. You know, you can be thrown, slammed. It's not a good feeling. You know,
okay, so I'm gonna say this from personal experience too. Not example, from personal experience. I got into a street fight, and remember, I'm not big. I'm not a big guy. I'm only 5'10", and back before I was like probably 5'5". This how long ago it was, like a couple years ago. This guy was about 5'10", almost 6 foot. He was way bigger than me.
Okay.
So he was bigger and stronger than me. He got me to the ground. Literally, he was on the ground and he was sitting on my stomach, just like swinging on me. Right?
So did you win the fight? I'm sorry.
You know how I won the fight?
How you win?
You got to defend yourself and get an opening. Yes, he was punching me in my stomach and it hurt. But listen, you got to be prepared for that stuff. For me, I grew up fighting. And my sisters, and I know it's like, oh, you fight your sister. No. My sister, specific one, don't got no mercy. She'll do anything that'll hurt you. Trust me, I've been bent and choked till I passed out by her before. She don't got mercy. So I'm used to getting hit like that, especially in the stomach. So he's punching me in the stomach. I'm like, okay, I can maintain it. So I'm protecting my face, going left and right. I gotta find the video of it. It's embarrassing because that was a long time ago. But I actually dodged all of his hits from the face. I didn't get hit in the face at all. But as soon as you get that opening, you just gotta learn how to slow down and think. A lot of people don't do that. But if you slow down and think, find that opening. No, I did not punch him in the throat. Yes, I should have punched him in the throat. I punched him in the stomach, though, and he felt that one because he's not used to getting punched in the stomach. He wasn't prepared for that. And that stopped the fight real quick. Probably because I actually kicked him in the balls, too. But we're not going to talk about that. It's the fact that I still, I could slow down, and I was thinking. Everybody got to be able to slow down and think.
Wait, hold
on. Wait. I got a question.
You just said you were in a full. He had you in a full mount, and you kicked him in the balls.
Oh,
yeah, I was about to say that. You said he was sitting on your stomach. Like, how you kick him in the balls?
So listen, it was like a 2-part combo. So I was laying on the ground, and I hit it after he stopped for a second. I punched him in the stomach, but then I lift my leg up because he was right on top of my stomach, and I kind of like no homo, but I felt his balls on my leg. And then I ended up flipping back over.
How big is my man's balls? If it's hitting on your stomach and you felt them on your leg.
But I'm not saying I'm not because I don't know if I hurt him in the balls, but I know I hurt his stomach because you know what he was doing. He was walking away holding his stomach, not his balls. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm thinking you got in the wrong altercation because that man's another breed. Um, and that my man's was another breed because he's sitting on your stomach and you felt his balls on your leg.
Nah, bro. Only you.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
No, listen.
His, his balls really dropped.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was saying you
You
messing
gave
with
that
the
you gave that man
wrong
a hernia
people.
with a punch to the stomach.
And you are talking, yeah, that's a whole nother breed of man. Like you got lucky there, bro. I don't know how you won that.
only reason.
Yeah,
Like I said, I didn't like purposely knee him in the balls. I was rolling him back over off of me. So
yeah,
that's
but
why
still, from the full mount, the ball shouldn't have been in play from full mount. Like I don't understand your story. But let's move on. We don't want to harp on
right?
it too long.
Someone tore your stomach and you punched him. Obviously, he scooped back just a tiny bit, or he lifted up just a tiny bit because he was like this. So he wasn't really like sitting on my stomach. He was more like it sounds gay. Nah, think about it. But he was like squatting, punching me. Oh shit. He was squatting over me.
Okay,
So
so
like
now you're
he
changing the
was
whole.
like,
You're changing what you just said. You
yeah,
said he
but he
was
was
sitting.
like
Now
down,
he's
basically on
squatting.
my
I don't
stomach.
understand
He was
what.
on my stomach still, but not
Okay,
like
let's
exactly
not
sitting.
stay on this subject because we could talk about this all day, right? Because of course, we all have questions. But let's move on. Let's get somebody else. All right, let's get somebody. Flash, what is one of your go to self defense moves?
My go-to self-defense moves is
Yeah.
just whatever, creating any type of escape that I can from, the situation. Like
Could you give me an example?
if I can avoid getting on the ground, like I'm always gonna avoid trying to be on the ground. If somebody tries to rush me, somebody tries to attack on me, you could stuff takedowns, you can use close combat strikes to disorient them to get away. You know, me personally, that's what I'm going for. I like throws and things that get the other person off balance. Because, like I said, being on the ground is one of the worst places I want to be, me myself. And that's not saying that I don't know how to choke somebody. I don't know how to break whatever. But I'd rather not cause any unnecessary injury trying to roll around on some concrete if I can help it. That's so my go-to thing is just to stop them, even if I got to stun them. It may be, a knee to the groins or a swift elbow or whatever shot to the head. If it's close quarters, like I may not necessarily tell somebody to aim for like the throat or whatever the case is, but it's a bunch of large areas. You got the solar plex, you got a big spine in the back of the head that you can drop an elbow on, which will stun somebody quick and you get out to be able to get out of there. Those are things that you really want to go for. I don't want to spend too much time tussling around trying to stop somebody because, like Broski said, the guy might be bigger than me. I'm not about to try to wrestle around with somebody who 50 or 100 pounds bigger than me. That might be a losing fight. So I'm going to stop him.
Okay.
Stop him best I can and get away.
Yeah, I got you. Dad, what about you? What was some of your favorite self defense or go to self defense thing that you
Well,
used to do?
now, now, my go-to self-defense is diplomacy. I'm gonna try to talk my way or figure out a way to get out of the altercation altogether because I'm almost 60. I don't want to fight no more. I'm done fighting them back in the day. But back in the day, I was taught to always go up inside. You go up inside, that way you can gain control. You can go to the head, to the chin, and hit all the shot points necessary. Because once you hit those shot points, you can finish the guy really quick. You can take him down from being inside. You never want to be outside his limb. If he's jabbing you outside his limb, you go up inside him. because he can't defend everything. So that's when you start getting them body blows in, cracking a couple ribs, hitting that kidney so he be bleeding that night, all that good stuff.
Okay, so
So yeah,
yours was get in and just barrage all the soft targets, right? That was
that's
your
right.
go-to.
Should have
Because
barraged.
he gonna back up. He gonna back up instantly. And I tell you what, the easiest shot point to hit is hit him in the nose. You hit him in the nose, he gonna back up. He gonna be disoriented.
Hit him
Yeah,
in the
that's not
eyebrow.
necessarily an easy target to hit either, though.
Eyebrow.
Oh
It's
yeah, if you go up inside him, you got all that right there.
But did you say the eyebrow?
yes.
Yeah, so,
Listen, it sounds weird.
because it
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Somebody right there where their eyebrow is. They're gonna
Yeah, I
think,
know what the eyebrow is, but like that's not a kill target. Not
bro,
the
you're not
eyebrow.
trying to kill them. Why are you trying to
You mean
kill?
No,
do you mean the
that's
temple?
just what it's called, right? Like
You
those
mean the
are
temple?
Eyebrow. Lightly
yeah,
touch
that
the
no
eyebrow.
one
That will
that
hurt.
is not a that is not the soft target. You never aim near somebody's forehead. That's the hardest part of
Bro,
their
if you can
face.
they
That's how
forehead, they
you
can bang.
that's how you break your hand.
You
Your
got
goal,
you
I'm
got
not
temple,
saying
you got chin, anywhere in the jawline.
your goal is to get them to think, not kill them.
Yeah, but punching them in the forehead is not gonna make them think anything.
I
It's gonna
promise
make you
you,
think again. You might
if you
break your arm.
got into a fight and just pop somebody on the forehead, they're gonna be like, what the? Like, they gonna think. They gonna think for a second. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
think they're
They're
probably
gonna be they're gonna be like, what the for real? They're like, what was it?
yeah.
Exactly. Like, you really want to fight me? I just pop you in your forehead.
I mean, if you're talking about a serious situation, ain't nobody gonna stop and think because you popped them in the forehead. Not when they got all.
They will. Yes, they will. It's not normal.
You're right, it's not normal.
But if you go quick and shit, just bow right there, pop on the forehead. Like, no.
Do you think a shot in the forehead is gonna stop somebody?
I bet
Do
you
you really think that?
if someone about to throw hands with you and you hit them, like just pop on the forehead real quick before the fight start, they gonna stop for at least for 3 seconds. Be like, what? They gonna stop.
I hope you got $100 cash, right?
Either that, or they're gonna have a quick reflex and jaw you real quick.
Nah. That's what I said. You gotta do speed. You gotta have speed. If you don't have speed, then yeah. But if it, like, cause you gotta hit them first. But if you hit them a little pop on the forehead, I promise you, they're gonna be like, and they ain't gonna fight you anymore. They're gonna be like, bro, this dude too goofy or something like that. That's how you do it. You gotta make a situation funny, and that's how you get people to stop fighting.
You just said hit them first, so that means you turned yourself into the assaulter versus being the assaulted.
Popping them on the forehead don't really, it's not like nothing that hurts, just a little quick, like no, like what you do to a baby. Pop a
Then
baby.
it's a pointless effort. If it's not meant to hurt them or stop them, then why do it?
Oh yeah, if you do it first, it's not self defense anymore.
Well, if they're attacking you, then
But you just said you hit them first.
fine, then grapple with them, get them where they can't attack you. I promise you, if you pop someone on the forehead and tell them no, their instinct, they will literally stop at least for 3 seconds.
I will kill you. I'm gonna kill you, man.
Wow. Wow. How did we get there? Kaze, we know your go-to move. You like the guillotine, right?
Oh
That
man,
was you, right? Yeah, the
oh
guillotine.
man, all day standing up. Like we ain't going to the ground. It's just real quick. I'm just
Yeah,
you already know. Like
yeah, we know yours is the guillotine. So.
All day. If you rushing me, because usually they rush you. They don't like to stand up and fight in the street half the time anymore. It'd be like two swings and then they rush you. And as soon as they rush me, it's immediate. It's immediate. It's a reflex now. Like I can't help it.
Okay. Let's move on. That was an interesting segment to say the least. But
if I get into a fight again, I'm gonna make sure someone record it, and I'm gonna definitely. my first thing I'm gonna do I'm gonna have 2 videos for y'all. A throat video. That sound gay. That sound really gay.
Oh my gosh! What's the next?
And and
Let me let me see that. Let me see the forehead pop. Show me the forehead
I
pop in
want
the
to show
video.
you.
Yeah.
Kari, text me an address. I'll be there on Saturday. We'll meet, right? I want you to pop me in my forehead.
You know it's coming. It won't work because you know it's coming.
I'm just saying. I want you to pop me in my forehead and get me to stop.
No.
No, and wait, don't. This is not me coming to pick on you or anything. I am completely out of shape, right? So if there was any time to beat me in some fisticuffs, it'll be right now. I've never been more out of shape than I am right now.
Not
No
expecting.
such time
I
exists.
could though. I could though.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, text me an address. We'll
No, no, no,
record it,
no.
and I
I'm
will
out here
post
too.
it.
Hold on.
We'll
Let me
post
get
it
in shape.
wherever.
Let me get in shape. I've been being lazy for the past couple of
You're
weeks.
19.
Okay, I've been. You know, it's Corona now. I ain't been doing nothing in the house.
Wow.
Let me go for a couple weeks. Let me do some, work out a little bit, and then during summer, I come up to Cleveland. Boom.
You have to be in better shape than I am right now.
I'm not. I'm just kidding. I mean, I am a little bit.
Okay. All right.
I'm lazy. I'm still lazy.
Let's move on.
All I'm saying
Let's
is,
move on. We we talked about threats, right? So is there any other scenarios that you think violence is necessary?
Um,
Directly attacking your family, like if you like standing right there and somebody getting attacked, like especially like children or something like that, I think violence is necessary for sure.
Okay.
yeah.
Does that extend to anybody else or just family?
it's friends and family.
Friends and family?
Close friends and family. You don't just fight for anybody. You fight for friends is like family that you choose. So like you fight for people that's close to you.
Okay, but what about the hero thing? Like if you saw, you
I don't care about them.
don't care about, there's never a time where you would jump in to be the hero if you don't
I
know
would,
anybody?
if it's some random kid getting beat on by some adult, I'd probably jump in.
Jump in. But if it's like a 15-year-old boy and like another group of 15-year-old boys, I'm not gonna jump in. Now we both about to get jumped. I'm sorry. But if you think about it, you gotta weigh it. If it's like 4 guys to 1 dude, that guy about to get beat up by 4 dudes before 4 guys beat up 2 dudes, because you got me messed up. You think I'm about to get my butt whooped with somebody else. Now, if it's 2 dudes to 1 dude, you jump in there. Hopefully that other dude can fight, because if you can't, now you kind of risking it. But there you go. If it's 1-on-1, you just jump in and stop the fight because you tell them to be peaceful, or you probably won't
Okay.
tell them to pay attention.
Does anybody else have anything to add to that one?
I mean, just going off what I was taught, just like in my line of work, in my whole area, we were told that when it comes to other people fighting, we just pretty much let them fight. We don't intervene unless it's like a life or death situation. Like if 2 people if they're on even ground, they just go at it. We just let them go, especially or at least until we get back up. But if it's becomes life or death, or one person got the upper hand on the other, or the other person's knocked out, or they can't continue, then we would intervene and act in that situation.
Oh, yeah, you're a prison guard, right?
Yeah.
So if 2 prisoners got into a fight, y'all let it happen and then separate.
If we're by ourselves, then yeah. If you're by yourself and it's a fight, yeah, you don't step in until backup arrives. Period, because you never know. That situation could be a setup. They could be baiting you to get involved, and then you could get jumped.
Right.
Like I said, if they're both even, like, and at work, even in the streets, if you see 2 people fighting and they're going toe to toe, why would you want to interfere unless, like I said, one person got the upper hand and the other person is still continuing? Yeah, then you can jump in and stop it.
Okay, so I know this is not a popular talking point, but what about the damsel in distress scenario?
I ain't no simp.
What?
I ain't upset. I don't care.
Wait, what?
I'm not a simp. I don't care.
How is that simping?
Bro, you guys can go, oh, help me. Like, bro, I don't care. What, give me a scenario.
You're talking about a woman getting beat in the street. You ain't gonna help her.
By who? By another guy? I'm gonna stop. I'm like, no, stop. Depends what the girl. Because if it's one of them girls that be like real buff, I ain't about to jump in. But if it's like two girls fighting, I'm not gonna jump in.
I said the damsel in distress, right?
Yeah.
So, it's most likely a male on female scenario, right?
Well, in that situation, you got to figure out because I'm gonna be honest. Think about this before you just jump in. If a guy will stoop down enough to go ham on a female and go attack on a female, he might got a gun or a weapon on him because he already retarded for doing that. So, like he might have something on him. So you gonna jump in on that and risk your life for some girl that you don't know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can't. I have to think about it. I have to check the guy out, make sure, like, yo, calm down. But I'm not about to risk getting stabbed.
Why didn't you use that logic in any other scenario? Is what I'm curious about.
You said what?
You didn't use that logic if he might have something in any other threatening scenario.
Well, you talking about if it's two guys fighting, I don't bother. If it's coming at me, I don't care. I mean, I'm hopping on it, like I'm protecting myself. Even if you're talking stuff, we either about to fight right now or one of us about to die right now. Like this is how it's gonna go.
Wait,
but
what?
like I'm saying, like if someone's talking about me, I don't gotta worry about that weapon on them. It's like, yo, bro, like no, because I'm literally I will die about disrespect. I swear to God, I will. I'm one of those people I will. I do not.
Well, you gonna die about disrespect?
Ask my girlfriend. I jump in fights for like. Let me hear one person disrespect me, and it gets to the point where I just don't. Oh my God, I literally have paid my friend to try to come up here to get me so we can travel to another state just so I can smack somebody in their mouth. That's how bad it's gotten. The dude lived in Canada. But he gave me his address.
That's another country.
I paid my friend $500 to drive me to my state, and then we're going to pay for us to go up there, and I'm going to smack him in his mouth.
You got a passport?
All right,
'Cause you ain't gonna be able to come back.
I'm being an illegal immigrant. I got a social security card. Like, come on now. I got an ID. Come on now, like I'm doing. Like I don't like disrespect.
Now I gotta go and blur a part of the video out. Thanks.
Huh? They ain't see that. My bad. Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh. Okay, so what do you consider? I think the question was, what do you consider disrespect that you're willing to risk your life over?
Anything. I'm sorry.
Like any disrespect, like so if somebody called you a duty head, you're ready to
No,
go
I ain't down and smack somebody and kill somebody because they call me a duty head. But
well, I mean, like elaborate for us, like explain yourself.
So like the people who talk big bad, like like name calling, that don't bother me because you forget I'm a troll myself. I'll name call with you. We can take turns name calling each other. But that time you act like you're big and bad on the internet, you'll smack me and you'll do this to me. That's when I'm like, okay, drop the address.
Okay, so it's threats you mean, not just disrespect in general, but threats get you riled up.
Oh yeah, threats. So disrespect. Okay. I'm not about to kill somebody over disrespect. I will smack them in their mouth if they get too crazy. I promise you, half the people that be calling me names and stuff wouldn't do it in my face. But that's because they know I am an aggressive person. I've always been like that. I'm gonna give you an example. I was in the store with my girlfriend, right?
Okay.
We're walking. One of the old guys who work at the store, I swear to God. So one of the other employees was like behind my girlfriend. My girlfriend was slow, walking really behind me. That I was trying to hurry and grab some groceries. And one of the other girl employees was back a little bit behind her. And the old guy was walking towards me. And all I know is my girlfriend, obviously, if you have a girlfriend, you're not gonna let your girlfriend go out the house with a tank top with no bra on. But that's what my girlfriend did. So I'm already overprotective. And then I hear this old guy say some, "Hey, nice shirt." So I literally turn around, getting ready to smack him. But then I realized he was looking like in that direction at his employee, he wasn't talking to my girlfriend. That's how hot-headed I am. That's how overprotective I am. I will snap just like literally my girlfriend can tell you that. She's on the phone with me right now. She can tell you that guy was literally about to get his ass whooped. All because I thought he was talking about my girlfriend.
Okay.
Don't let your girlfriend get you killed, man.
Right.
Don't let her get you
please,
killed, man.
please don't let your girlfriend get you killed. Yeah. Exactly.
Don't let that be the reason. Please don't let that be the reason.
She ain't gonna get me killed. You said would I have won? Of course I would have won. I'm not that out of shape. Dang.
How you know? You might have
I
known.
don't got no stamina. I can't run for long distances no more.
He might have known something. He might have known some things. You never know.
Oh, white guy.
What that mean?
Oh, white guys mean they can't know anything?
All he gonna do is call the cops.
How you know?
How old of an old white guy is you trying to make it seem like old?
Like that dude was up there like between 40 and 60.
Hold on, man. You talking about me?
I'm just saying. Why you talking to my girlfriend? This ain't about to happen.
Yeah, but what if it was like so? Let's think of another old white guy that knows some stuff. So if it was Jean-Claude Van Damme, would you talk if he said that to your girl? Will you just attack him?
So because I don't know who that is, I probably would have.
Oh.
But if I didn't know who he was and he said that, I'm like,
all right, well, let's bring an older guy. What about George St. Pierre?
I recognize that name, and then I don't know who that is though.
Oh no! What about Chuck Norris?
I know Chuck Norris. Isn't that like not Bruce?
Chuck Norris is too old.
Too old?
Like,
I'm pretty sure he still know how to defend himself.
How about say that?
So if Chuck Norris
sidekick ain't there no more with Chuck, he can't do it no more.
He might even need the jab sidekick, to be honest with you.
I'm about to say he can't do the jab sidekick no more. He too old.
If Chuck Norris like grabbed my girl's butt or something like that, or gave her a compliment like that, I'm like, yo, bro, watch yourself. And if I realize who he is, what he can do, I'm like, I have no problem admitting defeat in that second because I promise you, payback's a bitch. I told you I got gunjitsu. I don't play.
I thought you were talking, but you said earlier that it's not about killing people. We're going to guns.
It's Chuck Norris. Who gonna fight him? I want to see y'all fight him. People like that just get shot.
But you said there's no need to kill people. You know you defeat your own argument.
I ain't gonna kill him. Let's shoot him in the leg.
In the leg. You know, I kind of hate when people say just shoot him in the leg. Like that's an easy target.
Bro, if you just spray bullets at someone's leg, you're gonna hit them eventually.
Spray? What weapon do you have?
Man.
Semi-automatic pistol.
Do I gotta pull it out, bro?
No, you don't have to pull it out. Like you could just say.
Pull it out, bro? It's like, no, that's a BB gun.
I was like, what's that?
I'm gonna give me one.
Let's keep going. I got one more.
Thing where they just do that with the gun. You know what I'm talking about? With the pistol.
You said which one though?
Pistol. They hold the pistol like this. And they just do. You know, off like the right.
Do you have that skill?
It's pulling a trigger like that. How was that?
What, you talking about a revolver?
No, not a revolver. I'm talking about like a.
Yeah, he's talking about manually activating a thing on the semi-automatic, right? But
yeah,
that takes skill.
You can just bing, 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 bing. It's not hard.
Do you know how hard it is to aim like that?
Bro, you don't gotta aim. I said just aim in the direction of their legs.
Billy the Kid out here just shoot from the hip.
Yeah, he just. All right.
It's not hard.
Let me tell you something about shooting. The hardest thing to hit while you shooting is a moving target. I don't care how good you are. It's going to take. It's the hardest thing to hit is a moving target. And if you think about hitting him in the leg, you might miss him with 6 bullets. If he's running, you might not even hit him at all.
If the 7th one hit him, then I got my goals.
I mean, okay, man.
And I did archery. You just got to leave.
Archery.
Okay, I know it's not the same as a gun, but just leave the target. Come on now.
Are you gonna have enough time to shoot that arrow before you get rushed? Cause
No, I'm not saying I'm gonna shoot a bow and arrow at Chuck Norris. I'm gonna take a crossbow to him. He gonna get shot with a crossbow.
I mean, crossbow's a single shot, right? So if you miss that, that's
I'm just
it.
I'm just trying to run.
Okay.
John Wick is just a movie, remember?
You said John Wick's just a movie?
Just a
Yeah.
Exactly.
but Keanu Reeves can really shoot though. He trained for that.
Yeah, but it also took him 6 months of practice. He's talking about just, there's Chuck Norris. Let me activate my power, and they just start flying bullets at him.
That's a lacking. I promise you, if I run into him in a store, he's gonna be back in approximately 2 weeks. So then you come back every day for those 2 weeks until you run into him. Or you track him, find out where he lives. And when he caught walking or lacking by himself, you just sneak up behind him and bow.
Okay, so you're talking about stalking someone, punching them down and attacking, right? And we're way past self-defense at this point.
You should have either smacked my girl's butt or gave her that type of compliment.
We talk about borderline psycho right now.
Right.
What you say about my girl?
Let's move on. Let's touch politics a little bit, right? Because there's been times in history where, politics have gotten so bad that people, took to the streets and violence. Then how do you guys feel about those situations?
Can I just give an honest opinion?
I hope so.
They retarded, honestly. I'm gonna be honest. Y'all guys are fighting over people that y'all never gonna see in person a day in your life. Like y'all guys are tripping. People are tripping over people that they don't even know personally.
I mean, but that's not.
You willing to go to jail?
I think you're thinking about a specific event, and I'm just talking about in history in general.
You
right? Like when the laws get so crazy. Like let's talk about the French Revolution, right? Like people were so poor, they felt their only option was to go to the streets and
well, that's because that was affecting mass people.
I mean, but those are people you would never meet in real life. You wouldn't meet those nobles, right? That they went to battle for some wealth, right?
If that happened again, where we were all poor to the point where we can't even afford food, we can't even afford to better ourselves, we can't afford nothing. Of course, we're gonna go do it. I'm like, y'all need to fix this. Y'all need to raise minimum wage, whatever it is. If we ever got to that point.
Okay, we're not gonna touch the minimum wage thing.
Which is stupid. That's stupid. I see the badness in that minimum wage getting raised.
Let's try to stay on. Let's try to stay on task here.
Let me hear that. Let me hear what you got to say about that.
You want to hear why raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour is stupid?
Yeah.
Because the cost of living is going to go up. Literally inflation. It's always going to happen, and you can't just make more money, and you're not really doing anything other than making it easier for rich people are going to still be rich, poor people are still going to be poor. You're just going to make the people who make $15 an hour the new poor. That's all you're going to do. Even if you raise the minimum wage to $100 an hour, that's going to be the new poor eventually. It's going to change. Unless you're smart with it and you invest and get their money up before it happens. But at a certain point.
So what you're saying is you're living in the richest country in the world. You working 40 hours a week and you still under poverty. That's no way that the $15 an hour is not good for you.
I'm not saying it's not good, but I'm saying there's other people who has that same $15 an hour job who have to work really hard to get that. Now you're saying I can go apply at McDonald's and get $15 an hour? Like, a lot of people are going to be upset about that. So and
Why when over in the Netherlands they McDonald workers make $22 an hour?
well, that's in that area, okay? That's
What
like
I mean, what do you mean? It can work because it's not right in the United States that you got billionaires and then you got people on the street. It don't make no sense. But this is the richest company in the world. Nobody should be in poverty in the United States.
Well, I think in politics, people shouldn't really be fighting over political views.
Okay, wait. Let's stay on task. We could do the economical thing because right now y'all just talking. Y'all just talking right now. Let's go back to the violence thing. I was just using the French Revolution as a example, right?
Let them eat, let them eat cake.
Let them eat cake.
Marie Antoinette, that's what she said. Let them eat cake.
So I'm saying like so. What are you guys' views on like political violence?
So I'll say this because this is somebody I had a conversation with about these situations before, and I kind of agree with what they told me. Is like violence when it comes to anything political. It should never happen. I mean, it's stupid. Everything can happen in peaceful ways. People can protest, do whatever, talk about politics in a peaceful way without violence. But I mean, even I'm sure as in history, it's sometimes that nothing will ever get done over the times of trying to be peaceful, and it gets to the point where the only thing that they will hear and listen to is violence. You know, and it's unfortunate that it gets to those points, but it all depends on what the situation is, how long has it been going on, how long is peaceful actions gonna go ignored, and how long somebody will want to keep being peaceful, saying the same things over and over and over again to just have nothing being done about it. So I mean, it's all about balancing the situation and the outcome. So I agree that there shouldn't be any violence when it comes to political, but at some point in time, people, and this is with anybody, regardless of race, culture, political belief, whatever, this people gonna get fed up, and it's something that's gonna have to happen, whether physical actions is needed.
so I'm not there. I agree with you with that one, especially if we use the recent protests. The BLM protests. It's all the protests that's been happening for years. Nothing's happened. They haven't fixed anything. The cops won't even be in jail. Like all this stuff, like nothing. Like, how do you get a paid leave for killing someone? Like, I definitely agree with that. I think honestly, no lie, violence is the key. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, no." I promise you, violence is the key. Because after violence broke loose, guess what? They started fixing stuff. They started making stuff happen because they realized we banding together now. You don't just have white people and black people in each other. Now you got white people and black people and Mexican people. You got all people banding together to stop police brutality, and that's specifically what they don't want, us working together. So
Wait, what has been fixed?
I'm not saying like the whole, because obviously, like I'm saying, those guys charged. They've actually been charged, and now I'm not even gonna lie. There's literally some incidents like recently. I think about a week ago, we got pulled over by the cops. The cop was actually friendly. Gave us everything, gave us his kids. Like they're actually being more, at least some cops. I'm not saying all cops are, but the cops that I've encountered in the past, couple of weeks after the protests, they start. They're more open. They're talking. They're not all, threatening. They're not as scary anymore.
What has been fixed?
The way that they handle some, I'm not gonna say all, but some cops talk to you differently. They're more open. They let you know what their concerns are, except for just snapping.
So you're saying communication was the issue, and now communication is fixed?
I'm not saying it's fixed completely, but
But you
it's
just said
definitely.
now things are being fixed.
I said
Give me
being.
something that's fixed.
I said being fixed. Communication
Okay,
is being
give me something that's being fixed.
communication. Communication is being fixed.
How is it being fixed? What's different?
Well, at first whole situations, I'm not saying, like I said, not all cops, but there'd be cops, and people would have arguments and stuff like that, and it calls to a whole shooting, and cops want to know what their concerns are. Like for real, for us, when we got pulled over by the cop was like, "Okay, do you have your license registration?" He was like, "But don't reach for it, though." First of all, first part of communication. First part of communication, he told us don't reach for it because most people say you ask for it, they'll reach for it. He says don't reach for it though. He actually said don't reach for it before he asks for it. That's another way. That's a way to stop a whole situation. You don't have to worry about concerns. Then you ask questions. You let them know just for your safety. All this, like, it's just be more and being polite. Some cops are more polite after this whole situation, and being polite can cause a host. Literally, pulling over someone could end in death over people not being polite. If you were just polite, I promise you, situation wouldn't even happen. Because I'm not gonna lie, black people have attitude. We have a right to, but I'm saying we all have attitude. You have
You
attitude with
say
us.
you have a right to. Okay, I don't even want to touch that.
That's
I'm saying we're gonna have attitude back. But if you come at us positive, usually 9 times out of 10, we're gonna come back at you positive.
Does anybody else have something to add here?
Um,
go ahead.
Y'all really don't think nothing? You don't think nothing's changed at all?
Nope.
That's crazy.
Well, what I want to add to when I was talking about the violence thing, I want to add in the when things do get to a point of becoming violent, I could attest to and agree with what I like to frame as controlled violence or necessary violence. And what I mean by that is, like, even with all these political issues, the violence that we've been seeing on the TV with the destruction of the towns and all this, the unnecessary looting and damaging businesses and stuff like that. And see that to me is pointless. That's unnecessary now. And I know it could be a whole different topic and issue about who did what, what group did this and that, but whatever the case is, regardless of the situation and whose side it was, when it comes to violent acts, I mean, if you want to go after and attack the source of the issue, then that's fine, whatever, do that. But when you putting other innocent people and their livelihood and whatever the case in jeopardy and their safety and all that stuff, then that's just stupid, if you ask me.
I can't agree with that. I 100% cannot. I'm sorry. I think honestly, everyone needed to feel that because let's just say this. Let's say we all protest, and you have white people just watching this, like, oh, they're protesting again. Oh, they're protesting. Oh, now, like we're breaking businesses and stuff. I'm not gonna say we because that's gonna put me a criminal. But people are breaking business. I'm not saying looting is okay. Never gonna say looting is okay, but messing up their business, messing up everything. And that's going to force people to listen. You got people, oh, I just turn off the news channel. No, you're forcing people to listen now.
how does breaking the auto zone down make people listen?
I'm not going to say breaking an auto zone down makes people listen, but I'm saying like for the people who don't even pay attention and who have their own business, don't even know what's going on in the world, now they do know. Everyone knew about this.
What about burning down a Wendy's? What does that change?
That's just a attention grabber right there.
You're assuming that these people that have these shops don't know what's going on in the world. And,
But hey, you gotta make everybody feel it because I'm not gonna lie. So what? A building is material. Wouldn't the material be worth more than someone's life? It's not. Honestly, all of America could burn right now because if it all burned, guess what? That would force us to work together to build this country back up. It
Do
would
you
force.
really think that's
Oh
going to happen? Do
Even
you
if,
don't think
I swear to God,
that's going to force tribalism? Yes.
if we lost all types of like if all the houses just burned down or broke down or something happened to all the houses on the planet, all business, all buildings. it would force us to work together.
No, not at all, bro. You know the human race.
You forget who's taking over right now, though. My generation.
But you're a representative of your generation, and you just said it's okay to burn down Wendy's.
I mean, I'm not saying it's okay to burn it down, but it's not. A Wendy's is not more important than someone's life. That Wendy's could burn down 1,000 times before another person dies.
Yeah, but your generation wouldn't survive without the internet. So if you burn all the buildings down, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be any internet left.
And I just want
And we would work together to put it back.
and also when you're comparing a large company organization like Wendy's to a small like mom and pop store. You know, you can burn some Wendy's down. There's still going to be tons of Wendy's all over the world. But this one or two family business has got just that was their whole life. That was that shop that just got destroyed for no reason. You know, they can't recover the same as Wendy's could or as whatever.
Well, people should attack Wendy's where it's home at, where it's goat at. But Wendy's started. Wendy's started here. Wendy's actually started in Columbus. Technically not Columbus.
It don't matter where they started at though. Look.
Wendy's literally the guy Dave. He started it here. He lived here.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question because we're getting off subject.
Yeah.
All right, so you're saying it's an attention grabber, right? So let's say I didn't like you, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't talk to me, so I couldn't air out my grievances, right? So I went and I blew up your mom's car to get your attention. Would that be cool?
I mean, you got my attention.
No, but would it be cool though? Is that okay? Like I attacked your mom's property because you wouldn't answer my grievances. She has nothing to do with it.
That is true.
I mean, the same thing can apply. Like he said, like Wendy's has a lot of money, but like, you know, the local bar that got destroyed, right? They weren't a part of it.
That's still true, like I said, but it's not that we're going to target only big businesses. We targeted everyone. Everyone's going to feel pain because it's black. Like for our generation, you know, we're tired of watching that. We're honestly tired. If we could think of every time a black and a innocent person, an innocent black guy gets killed from a racial reason, like not he caused it, because if he caused it, he got shot. That's on him. But if he innocently got shot, if they were to think that a big protest like happened earlier would happen every single time, I promise you, it's going to stop eventually. It's going to stop because y'all guys are going to be tired of having to rebuild America.
You're wrong again.
How am I wrong? You're going to stop.
Wait. Let's agree on this panel. I'm the oldest one on this panel, right?
Yeah.
So from the time I was born, blacks couldn't drink out of water fountains with whites. We've been rioting since 1968. What's changed?
We got more people. We got more colors on our side now. Way more.
What?
Did you just say colors?
Colors?
I say colors. You know what I meant. We have more people on our side. We don't just have, like, first y'all had protests back then. Y'all ain't have riots. Y'all ain't had this.
Wait, what?
They didn't have riots?
What?
Are you sure?
Y'all ain't have something this big. Y'all didn't have something this big before.
What?
Have you heard of the Watts riots in California? Have you heard of the Glenville riots up here in Cleveland?
I remember the Glenville. Well, I don't remember it, but I remember hearing about it.
Like, do you remember when the riots the protests got so out of control that they turned the fire hoses on the kids? You know about that?
Back in 1967.
Those were protests that got out of control.
That's what riots are.
Buildings on fires. We literally destroy things.
Okay, so you're saying when your generation does it, it's okay.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
It's not going to be okay, but I mean, hey, I would honestly, because I was one of the people who participated in it, I would do it over and over and over again. Every time, if an innocent black person gets killed, honestly, in my eyes, if an innocent person gets killed for a racial reason, I would do it over and over again because we all need to be equal. We need to all realize.
How would you know?
I'm saying if it hits the news, obviously.
See, don't take
I
it
mean,
for
but they
granted.
don't. No, no, because
Don't
the
let it
thing
go to
is,
waste.
they don't tell you everything. Like every time a white guy's killed, they don't talk about it,
That is true. That is true.
right?
But how
Or
the white guy killed for?
they don't talk about it when a Latin person gets shot down by the cops, right? It doesn't make national news. The national ones
Hispanic,
are the black
Hispanic,
people, huh?
Because it's usually a
Hispanic.
racial reason. A lot of, if you think about it, there's black people who would get killed. Example, George Floyd. He got killed for literally nothing. For the lady called because of a counterfeit bill that actually wasn't counterfeit. That's why she called the cops. And he lost his life because that lady called the cops because she thought the bill was counterfeit. And he lost his life. He didn't fight back. Like if he honestly, I'm not saying he should lose his life if he fight back, but he didn't fight back. He sat there and died. So of course we're gonna throw riots for that.
Yeah, we're gonna
Like
move on because obviously you don't know everything that happened, and this,
That's outside of a political situation, but
yeah, that was one time, and him fighting back like he refused to get in the car. It, I don't want to get off task talking about George Floyd because I mean that was a tragedy either way it goes, but like you're saying like he didn't do anything at all. You're
okay.
misinformed.
What about the part where they had him on the ground and he was saying he couldn't breathe? He couldn't breathe.
He was saying that while they were trying to put him in the car as well.
No, I'm talking about when the knee was on his neck, he was in handcuffs.
He was
And
saying he couldn't breathe when he was in his own car as well.
so what? Did he have asthma?
We don't know. They didn't know.
So that's the fact that the cops didn't even think and try to even figure that out. If he's saying he couldn't breathe before he even got tackled down, y'all like, why would you
He never got tackled. He volunteered to lay on the ground because he refused to get in the car.
So he volunteered to lay on the ground. So why
He
did they put
said
him?
because they said they were trying to put him in the car. He wouldn't go. He outmuscled all three of those men, right? And then instead he said, "I'll lay on the ground. Just don't put me in the car." And he laid on the ground.
Where's that video?
Now, them sitting on his neck like they did was definitely wrong, right? But him laying on the ground was voluntary.
Where's that video at?
I mean, you're Generation Z, you know the internet, right?
I have to
Go
find
look
that.
it up. Yeah.
I will find that video because I swear to God, from what I've seen, I swear I've seen the whole situation. The cop took him down. So they literally, I swear I saw the video of them tackling him to the ground.
You sure it wasn't just a video of him
He
already on the ground being recorded by
yeah,
two
he
bystanders?
volunteered to go to the ground.
The store camera, not the one lady.
You know what I'm saying? He volunteered. No, because their body cam footage came out. He volunteered to get on the ground. Now them stepping on his neck and killing them that way is terrible. That part shouldn't have happened, right? But there was an altercation lightweight before it got to that part.
Stay on topic.
So you're saying refusing to go in a cop car still cause you die?
Stay
Well,
on
I'm not
topic.
saying like no one said that. See, now you're inventing things. You said you said there was no altercation. I'm telling you there was an altercation.
Okay. Let's say there's altercation, right? But did he actually feel like that? Like, did the cops feel like they were about to get killed in that situation?
No.
So that's saying that's what I'm saying. He died, but they didn't feel like they weren't threatened. Okay, you could say you were threatened because he was bigger than them, and he, like you said, you said he outnumbered. I have to go watch videos, But it's the fact that he wasn't threatening. At least the cops didn't feel like their life was, in danger, and the fact that they still killed him. I
Well,
didn't know.
you think that they thought that they were threatened? That's why he died?
I mean, he kept resting on his neck, even though everyone yelled, "Get off of his neck!" He can't breathe. In the video, you hear it. They say, "Get off his neck, he can't breathe."
I don't think that has anything to do with the cops' feeling of being threatened. That was just a poor judgment of action on their behalf.
So we're saying he should have went to jail for it.
Well, the problem is not about him going to jail. The thing is, they're trying
Well,
to get him for murder.
that is
They're
the
trying
problem.
to get him for murder one, right? And murder one won't stick
Why?
because it wasn't murder one.
Then what was it?
It was either
Manslaughter, right?
manslaughter or third degree, maybe, but not murder one.
I'm sorry, I just can't. That was murder. Obviously, you know what you're doing. You're kneeling on someone's neck. Their neck. There is no way you don't think they're. If I knee on any one of y'all neck for a while, y'all guys know you're gonna eventually die. Especially if you had asthma. I'm pretty sure, like you said, we don't know if he had asthma or not. But if he was saying he couldn't breathe before he even got in his own car,
Like I'm not like no one's saying what happened should have happened and there was George Floyd's fault at all, right? Like that's not the thing we're discussing here. Like you're just saying like so all that happened and even you don't know exactly what went down, but yet all these buildings and these mom and pop shops got destroyed off of limited information. Is that okay?
I think everyone who did it, they probably know more. And don't forget, we didn't start the destruction.
Who is we?
Us protesters. Protesters did not start the destruction.
Us protesters, you were out there?
I was out there. I was the one who was recording. You know why I was recording out there? Because to prove that we weren't the ones starting it. Protests turned violent. Like I said, didn't I remember what I said earlier? Black people got attitude. You show us attitude, we're gonna show you attitude back.
So who,
You
who's
come at us,
started
we're gonna come at you crazy back. All honesty, I'm gonna say example from a Columbus protest, Columbus, Ohio. I got to the protest, we're walking like normal. Cops just randomly come by spraying people. Not one glass. Listen, I can hear everything. We're loud, but we're not that loud. You can still hear glass shattering. Nobody on the whole block that we're on. We're just marching. It was like probably 3,000 people there. It was a lot. If I find footage, I will definitely show it to you. It was amazing.
that? You're just
Like,
basing it from your
3,000 people isn't a lot of people.
okay, well, it was enough to fill up our whole street and keep going. It was almost. I probably was. I don't know what a large number of people is, so I say 3,000 because to me that's a lot. But there was so many of us, and next thing you know, cops just randomly start pepper spraying.
randomly.
Swear to God. Listen, I was in the front of the crowd. So this is why I wasn't in the back of the crowd and be like, oh, why the cops randomly pepper? I was in the front. The cops are literally in front of me. They're chanting, hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot. Then we get pepper sprayed. I can see the whole lines of officers. No one's getting altered. I literally am recording everything. I'm the cameraman. I was recording I was actually on Instagram Live. But I got everything recorded. All they said was hands up, don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot. And we all got maced or pepper sprayed. All of us. Me too. Tear gas. Shot into the crowd. And all we did was a peaceful protest. But then after that, that's when stuff started getting broken. But like I said, don't forget, that also was stage 2. Because I know Columbus like the back of my hand. Especially.
Wait, you said it was staged? Could you explain yourself a little bit?
Shut up, I'm telling you. I know Columbus like the back of my hand. I can tell you anywhere downtown Columbus. I know where new constructions are. I know where non-new constructions are. That's literally, my high school is downtown. That's where we hang out at, downtown. So tell me why random piles of bricks were outside of the State House. Nothing in that area needed bricks. Nothing in that block. Nothing on the next street. Nothing on the next. Nothing in that area was being new construction. But there was blocks on everything. Everything was a case full of just bricks.
So why do you think they were there?
Why else? They were placed there.
Who put them there?
The government. They're making money from this.
The government is making money from the destruction of small mom and pop shops.
I promise you they are. I promise you that. But think about it. How else did it get there?
Okay.
How did the same type of bricks get all over America? The same type of bricks everywhere. Do research on it. Exact same type of bricks in Ohio. Same type of bricks in Cleveland. Same type of bricks other states.
What?
Same type of bricks all over in areas that don't even have construction. Only thing in Ohio, in Columbus, construction is our freeways. And downtown is almost like an island. It's a freeway that circles it. But we're saying the heart of downtown had bricks just sitting around like they're working on something, but there's nothing to be worked on. Notice after the protest was gone, all the bricks were gone. Nothing was worked on. And I specifically, when I noticed the bricks, I walked around away from the crowd to find some construction in that area. There's nothing. A lot of people weren't paying attention to that. A lot of it was staged. Remember, there were people getting paid to do that. There were being people to get paid to start the riots. Remember, the monkey see, monkey do rule?
Yeah, I know that rule.
Yeah. So you see someone else doing it and a bunch of other people doing it. Someone gives you a brick. Oh, shoot. Now you think, I need to throw it. I'm not going to say I threw a brick because I did not. But that's also because I'm a cameraman. I was recording. That's literally recording yourself do something illegal. Like, I'm not that.
So you had the foresight to know not to throw bricks, but you didn't help your fellow man. You didn't say stop.
It was thousands of people there. You can't tell. Hey, stop it. No. If anything,
I mean, you were recording. You could have been on film trying to stop it, right?
I did try to stop it at first when they were throwing bricks at the cops. Until the cops shot a freaking rubber bullet into my thigh. I can show you the bruise. And then
that's not necessary.
Like, you know what? And then next, they start throwing fireworks into the crowds. Yes, people were throwing fireworks in the crowds to the cops. Only 3 cops were injured, though.
Okay.
By the way, the cops thought that was fun. The cops thought that was fun. Don't forget, I'm friends with both sides. I know everything. That's why I knew where to be and where not to be.
You said you know everything?
So I can't say who I'm friends with because he's still a cop right now, but y'all should already know because you're recording. But he already told me. I already know what's going on. That's why I was there. He said, don't be on this block. Don't be on here. Don't be here. I already know everything. When he told me
you still got maced.
I still got maced, yes. That's because I chose to get close up. I had to know what was going to start it. I had to be close up. I did get maced, but I was willing to take that risk. But you better believe that the absolute next day, I came up with a gas mask. I had gas mask and goggles on. It ain't affect me. I had my riot gear on. I look retarded because they didn't match, but I look good. Look protected.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add on the topic? Right. Flash, you gave your 2 cents. What about you, Dad? Did you and the topic was
Thank you.
Political violence. Like how do you feel about political violence?
I really don't have a feeling about it, but the only way anything's going to get done is protest, but not the violence. The violence part of it is not a good look. It's not good. But that's where I'm at. I really don't have really too much to say about it.
Oh, okay. Kaze, you got any thoughts to add to that?
Well, like I said before, like political violence, like it's not just whether a protest is peaceful. You also got sides, like political violence between sides. Like what happened to just having your ideas or what you believe in and just rolling with it? I don't understand the point of attacking another person for their beliefs or what they feel is the right side. Like it's crazy. I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. I want to touch shortly on one other thing before we close. So we've been talking about violence. How do y'all feel about violence, like especially nowadays, you know, they consider verbal to be just as bad as physical violence. How do you feel about that?
People need to toughen up. Stop being offended over everything. It's not violent to call someone names and say that
This
you're
coming
racist.
from the person who just said earlier that they was going to
I
slap a
said,
person for being
that's it.
disrespectful.
I'm not gonna let them disrespect me. But I'm saying like the whole like if you use my whole generation with the whole snowflakes and stuff like that, you can't say nothing. But that don't count as disrespect. Disrespecting me is talking about me and my physical, like not physical. How about when we said we changed that from disrespect to threatening? I meant the two words. Threatening me is when I smack you, but calling names don't bother me. But if we're gonna use my whole generation, use this whole cancel culture as an example, you got people who said stuff a while ago, but people are getting butthurt about it and want to cry about it. And this is literally coming from the LGBT community, which is not a part of my generation. We don't acclaim them.
You,
We
what?
don't.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna touch that one at all. Anybody else have anything to add?
You laugh, and I swear
No,
we don't want that.
Um.
Wow.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess let me more direct the questions. I'm losing control here. So Kaze, how do you feel about verbal assaults being considered just as bad as physical violence?
Um, I think it should only be considered that way if it's like a credible threat. I don't think everything should be considered just as bad as like physical violence. Like, uh, there. I mean, there is verbal abuse and everything like that. I guess some people can't handle it. Like, if you abuse someone verbally for so long, like their mental state can't handle it. I think when it gets to that point, if the person can't handle it, then maybe. But otherwise, I think it should just be left alone. Like I don't think everything should be considered the same as physical violence. I think only where it gets to a point of where either somebody's mental state can't handle it or it causes physical violence, I should say.
Okay. I'll ask the same question to you,
I'm
Dad.
well, verbal abuse normally leads to physical abuse because, like you said, most people can't handle the verbal abuse, so that's when they start throwing them hands. So I would not. It's can we all just get along?
I
Wishful thinking.
I wish we could all just get along.
Yeah, but yeah, verbal abuse usually leads to physical abuse. So just I would just say I don't I try not to, but just talk normal to everybody. I mean everybody just the hostilities is everybody got hostilities nowadays for no reason. I think so. I don't know.
Okay. Uh, Flash, anything to add,
I mean,
or
I
do
pretty
you kind of agree?
agree with what was said. It all depends on what a person can take verbally. Everybody has their
Mhm.
levels of trigger, as they say, as far as what was said, that will set them off. That can become physical, but I don't think for majority of it, for most of it, I don't think verbal should be on the same level as physical. It really shouldn't, but it depends on the person.
So
What
you're
somebody
saying it's
says
like
to
a
me,
case by case type thing?
yeah, what somebody says to me might not bother me, but somebody says to somebody else, it might set them off. And then they want to start throwing them hands. You never know.
Okay. All right, we're coming to the the end of our discussion, and this is the part where I ask the panel if they have any questions for me or other members of the panel.
How can y'all not take verbal abuse?
Are you asking that in general?
How can you not take verbal abuse?
How can we
How can we
not?
not take it?
How can people not take it?
Um. Well, I mean, I guess it will be obvious, right? Because it's still a form of abuse, right? So
But
it's pushing the right buttons. Like this is a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer it, right?
mhm,
But think of your mom and your sisters, right?
mhm.
They know exactly. Like, have you been in a situation where they exactly know how to push your buttons? They know exactly the right things to say to
That's the thing.
turn.
That's the thing. I don't not literally. There's nothing that you can say other than threatening me. Well, other than that, there's nothing you can say to like offend me. I've heard everything. It doesn't bother me. Call me ugly. Call me dark skin. Say I have one kidney. Like, there's nothing you can say. I turn everything you say to me as a joke. How can you not handle that? You got to think of it differently. If people get honestly hurt from that, I think they need to, like, first of all, back up a little bit. Look at it as, hey, this person's hurt. They're trying their best to hurt you. But it, like, come on, there's nothing someone should say that actually make you be like, oh, I can't take this, and then want to fight.
No, it's not necessarily about wanting to fight. Like, because you were asking about how can't people take verbal abuse, right? Like, I mean, like I said, it's abuse. It's like saying the right things over and over, right?
I'm
It's
saying,
it's
like,
it's a mindset thing, right? So
I guess
you have more of a combative mindset, right? So
that's true. That's definitely true.
yeah, like there are more submissive people who can't deal with conflict at all, right?
Trust me, I know someone. It's just, I think it's crazy how people get, can get hurt over verbal abuse.
I mean, you'd have to understand everybody's mindsets to answer that question, which is too many people to know. Everybody got different mindsets. Everybody got different mental health issues. Everybody got different experiences in life. You don't know. You can't really.
Maybe because I've been through the worst before, and after I came back through it, I guess after I came back from all that, it's like that just nothing can offend me or bother me anymore. Literally nothing.
Are you sure? Because I don't believe that.
I promise you, I have had family that people have said, "Oh, I'm glad this person died." It doesn't bother me. Nothing you can say, unless, like I said, unless it's threatening.
You said you've been through the worst, but what are you comparing that to? Because I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other people who can say they've been through the worst. And
I mean, like, you could use depression as an example. Honestly, I'm not gonna say depression is a phase, but I'm gonna use me as an example. I was always sad. I was like, everything hurt me. I'm gonna be honest. We gonna get real. I'm gonna get real with y'all. I tried to end my life multiple times.
You
One
trying to
time,
do what?
I tried to end my life multiple times. As early as 2 years ago was the last time I did it. Actually, I think it was a year and a half ago. And actually, no, it was 2 years ago due to this. Yeah. But what actually what snapped me out of it is the experience. The example was I took, because I have blood pressure medicine because I'm on dialysis, and that already was a stressful thing. I took 40 pills, and when they tried to help me, first of all, it was too late. It was already in my system. And they told me all they have to do is try to keep me awake or whatever. I have to get through the fourth hour, I think, because those pills, they're blood pressure pills, they happen 4 hours later, 4 to 6 hours later. So they said the fourth hour is going to be the peak. And when I got to my fourth hour, my chest was hurting. It was the worst pain anybody could say. Because I swear to God, I was going to die that day. Swear to God, I was gonna die. I don't know what the doctors did, but I didn't. And after that day, I was like, no, never again. Just like when people say, when people who are about to commit suicide, they jump off a bridge, they regret it as soon as they jump off. Me in that situation, I regretted that not after I took the pill. I regretted that after I felt it, after I honestly thought I was gonna die. So after that, like I've lightened up. I've backed up. I think like there's literally nothing people can say to offend me anymore. After I've like, I'm not gonna say I died, but I feel like I've seen death.
You've just defeated your argument again, right?
No,
Because you're
like
saying you used to know what it was, but after your experience,
I'm
now
saying
nothing can hurt you anymore. Which you said anymore, which means you used to know how it felt.
no, I'm saying like people like they would say things, and I'm like, oh, like that hurt, but like I wouldn't. First of all, I wouldn't get physical with them. But I'm saying like that stuff did used to hurt. I don't understand how. And if I think about it, how did they hurt me? I don't know. Even in my own body, I don't like. If I think about how did one person say something that affect me or offend me, like I can't remember. I don't know how that would have hurted me. So, like I said, I don't know how people can get hurt, even with me, because I know I used to get hurt from stuff like that. And I know when I was a little kid, I used to cry because people used to bully me. But my thing is like, with as of right now,
Shouldn't you understand then?
I
Like,
don't. That's the thing. I don't remember why I did it.
well, I mean, it's not even remembering why, right? Because if you knew why, then you can move forward, right? If you never had that near death experience that changed you, think about that's the reason why people can't handle verbal abuse, right? Like you said, you went through it. You used to cry, right?
Yeah.
Like if you never had that event, you would be that person right now. That couldn't take any criticism or anything. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I don't understand. I'm still like, I'm asking because I know some people, they don't know. Hold on one second. I'll talk to you in a second. I don't understand how people, even like I said, with me, I don't understand. That's why I'm asking y'all, like, honestly, like, how does that affect y'all? Because for me, 2 years ago, I don't remember nothing. I don't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. So I'm not gonna remember what happened 2 years ago.
Just 2 years? Okay, well let's move on. Anybody else have some questions or closing statements even?
We're
No, I
closing.
ain't. Yeah, I
No?
ain't got nothing. No.
All right. This has been the generational gap. If you made it this long, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll apologize for letting the conversation get away from me a little bit, but thank you for joining. Before we go, I want to, re-go over the panel from today. So, our two millennials, one was Kaze. So say your piece. Thanks for coming on the show. We have Flash.
What's going on?
Thanks for coming on the show. We got Toxic Broski, who was our Generation Z. Thanks for being here. And we got my dad, Clem, who's our boomer.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
All right. And thanks for joining.